MFA updates
Good morning. Welcome to MFA Update. This is a weekly program where we talk about Thailand's foreign affairs and activities. And I'm Grace Nishakala-Phumi. For this week's edition, we will talk with Kun Pensom Lertsithichai, Deputy Director General from the Department of East Asia Affairs. She will discuss the official visit of the Prime Minister of Malaysia to Thailand from 9th to 10th of February 2023.
The foreign affairs that matter. Special guests from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is the MFA Updates.
Good morning, Kun Pensom. Thank you so much for joining our program today.
A very good morning to you, Kun Nichaka, and thank you very much for having me.
Okay. So first of all, I would like you to share with us about the Malaysian foreign policy, like, for example, the policy towards ASEAN under the current Prime Minister, please.
Yes, well, His Excellency Dato' Seri Anwar Ibrahim was sworn in as the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia in November last year, and since then announced his core policy in national development known as Malaysia Madani, which in short embraces the diversity of Malaysian people and emphasizes good governance, equality, social justice, and tries to bring in all Malaysian people despite their different religions, their different backgrounds and ethnicities into one nation, one people, and one family. And this is a very similar philosophy shared with our Thai government of inclusivity, or what we call in Thai, leaving no one behind. And so with regards to foreign policy, we will see Malaysia under the leadership of Prime Minister Anwar playing a more prominent and constructive role, both internationally and regionally, making Malaysia's voice heard in global issues within international platforms and all of the issues that are important to Malaysia. And also, Prime Minister Anwar has been very clear and vocal about how he wishes to see ASEAN united, as well as how he wishes ASEAN should maintain its centrality, which means that ASEAN should be in the driver's seat to decide on important issues that impact the region as a whole, which is only natural because we are the stakeholders and recipients of such effects. And, of course, Malaysia will continue to play an important role in regional and geopolitics as a moderate Muslim country that embraces multiculturalism and interfaith with a strong economy that has actually seen the strongest growth amongst ASEAN partners in the past year. So Thailand is very supportive of Malaysia, and I personally believe that Prime Minister Anwar will be able to realize many of his aspirations and goals in global politics. Malaysia also has an important role in the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, at which Thailand is also an observer since 1998. And so this is an overall picture of our perception of Malaysia's national and foreign policies.
Okay. And as both Thailand and Malaysia are close neighbors, right? So could you share with us about some mutual cooperations between these two countries?
Yes, and as you mentioned, Malaysia is Thailand's important partner and neighbor. And because we share a border of almost 600 kilometers, the land border, it makes our cooperation on the border areas a vital component of our bilateral relations. And among the most important aspects of our cooperation, of course, it's in the economic realm, particularly border trade and the economic development of local communities along the border area, which consists of 4 northern Malaysian states and 5 southern provinces of Thailand. And as a matter of fact, the Thais in southern provinces share strong family connections as well as religious and cultural bonds with the Malaysians in Kelantan, in Perak, Perlis, Penang, and even Kedah. There are many sectors of cooperation that we wish to continue to develop along the border area, and this is to help strengthen and facilitate the flow of trade and investment as well as mobility of people and goods. We like to call this the strengthening of connectivities, which includes connecting infrastructure in transportation, construction of bridges and roads, linking our custom checkpoints, particularly the customs inspections and quarantine complex at Sadao. This is in Songkhla province on the Thai side, with the CIQ complex of Bukit Kayu Hitam of Kedah State. On the Asian side, perhaps you've heard of this already. This area is where most of our border trade takes place, and that's why it's very famous, and that's why it's also very important to expedite the completion of this particular project so that we can both enjoy the benefits of the ease of travel and convenience of transport. And actually, for Thailand, 1/3 of our border trade is with Malaysia, and particularly at this checkpoint. We also want to take advantage of the strengths we have within the border areas. For instance, we want to look into strengthening cooperation in the halal food industry. Looking ahead, also food security, because Malaysia imports about $20 billion worth of food and produce every year. And therefore, they want to work more closely with Thailand, who happens to be the major food producer for the world market. While also Malaysia's halal certificate is globally recognized as well. So we both see a lot of potential in working in this aspect. Also, in the rubber industry, there's potential for Thailand and Malaysia to collaborate more, as we are both major producers and exporters of rubber and latex. And if we can synergize our supply chains, pool our resources, and align our logistics systems, we could bring both much benefits to both of our peoples.
And when the Prime Minister of Malaysia visited Thailand, who did the Prime Minister meet, and what were the key issues of the discussions?
Actually, it was quite a very exciting visit. So we actually call this an introductory visit. Because Prime Minister Anwar just recently took office as Prime Minister, and it's a custom among ASEAN family members, whenever a new leader assumes office, he or she will tour around ASEAN to make acquaintance with ASEAN leaders, and because this helps make the cooperation amongst ASEAN family smoother and more amicable. So before coming to Thailand, Prime Minister Anwar had already visited Indonesia, Brunei, Jerusalem, and Singapore. And so, but in Thailand, we were actually very appreciative that Prime Minister Anwar spent a whole 2 days for this introductory visit, which he didn't do with many other countries. And taking into account his very tight schedule and how he spared time for Thailand, this really reflects how much he values the long-standing friendship and cooperation that we have between one another. The visit started on 9th of February when Anwar held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha at the Government House. And the bilateral talks focused on strengthening economic cooperation, how we could increase trade and investment, and reiterating the political will to achieve our trade target, which we already set at $30 billion by 2025, as well as our will to expedite the joint efforts for development of border areas, as I mentioned earlier. our economies along the border to bring more economic prosperity and security to the area. And after the discussions, both leaders also witnessed the exchange of 4 bilateral Memorandum of Understandings, MOUs, on digital economy cooperation and the exploration and production of renewable energy and green technology. So this is also very significant. So we can say that this visit far exceeds what we call a customary visit because the depth of the issues and the relevance of its discussions was very significant. And we have to owe this to the friendship that Prime Minister Anwar has cultivated with Thailand for many decades in his career as a politician. Also, I'd like to mention that on the following day, on the 10th of February, Prime Minister Anwar also met with Deputy Prime Minister Prawit Wongsuwan over lunch. And Prime Minister Anwar gave a speech at a business event co-organized by Thai and Malaysian private sector, as well as the EEC, which you probably already know very well. He also met with the Secretary General of the Eastern Economic Zone, and with the private sector, Prime Minister Anwar discussed how Malaysia and Thailand would intensify business opportunities and bring more dynamism into the region. I'd like to add, actually, in fact, that the main objective of this visit for both sides was on the economic side. And with Malaysia, we do see much happening looking ahead because the foundation of our relations with Malaysia is already very, very strong. In fact, Prime Minister Anwar very eloquently mentioned during his talks with Prime Minister Prayut that it was very refreshing to have such direct talks with the usual diplomatic niceties he mentioned. So, of course, the leaders and our public agencies are clear that all these talks are geared towards bringing much needed economic dynamism into our countries as we are both pulling efforts into recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic.
I see. Thank you so much. And lastly, are there any discussion regarding Thai and Malaysian border relations?
Thank you very much for this very important question, because matters related to the development and security in the southern border provinces of Thailand is, of course, a priority of the Thai government, and was indeed among one of the topics discussed during the visit. The Thai government has long adhered to a comprehensive approach in this aspect, and we enable the engagement of local communities with outreach programs in order to deepen our understanding of local demands, so that the development programs and remedies can be targeted to meet actual needs and indeed help uplift livelihoods of the local communities. We also support local cultural traits, the freedom to practice religion, and to continue to ensure the improvement of access to higher education. We provide lots and lots of scholarships, adequate public health services to all faraway communities alike. Social and economic development programs like special economic zones are also a priority and help jumpstart many communities because local people can enjoy economic security and employment and social benefits and security, as well as the rights that they are entitled to as citizens of Thailand. And therefore, our cooperation with Malaysia supports our ongoing peace dialogues with people of different views in that area, so that we can find an acceptable solution for all and for the interest of the people on the ground. And Malaysia is facilitating with those talks.
Okay, so thank you so much, Kun Pensom. It was a very informative discussion today, and thank you so much for giving us the update about the cooperation and the relations between Thailand and Malaysia.
Likewise, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to bring more light into these very important updates and what the governments of Thailand and Malaysia are doing for our two peoples.
That was Kun Pensom Lertsithichai, Deputy Director General from the Department of East Asia Affairs, discussing the official visit of the Prime Minister of Malaysia to Thailand from February 9th to 10th, 2023. And that's it for the MFA update for this week. If you want to listen to this episode or other episodes again, please visit the YouTube channel MFA Thailand, or you can check out our Facebook page FM88 Radio Thailand English. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next time. I'm Grace นิชกาภูมิ สวัสดีค่ะ
MFA updates